Have you ever noticed that some people save money for years and still never become financially free? They do everything right. They avoid reckless spending. They stay disciplined. They save consistently, and yet somehow their money never really grows. Not because they are irresponsible, not because they are careless, but because saving money and investing money are not the same thing. And most people spend far too long not realizing that. Let's walk through a realistic example. Imagine a 28-year-old office worker living somewhere like Chicago, Manchester, or Berlin. Nothing fancy, just a normal middle-class life. After taxes, they earn around $4,200 per month. Rent takes about $1,600. Utilities, groceries, insurance, and internet add another $900. Transportation or a car payment is roughly $450. Student loans and credit card payments take around $400. And by the end of the month, there's maybe $600 to $700 left. So they do what responsible people are told to do. They save. Every month, $500 goes into a savings account. At first, it feels like progress. Safe, stable, like they're doing the right thing. The balance slowly grows. After a year, maybe there's around $6,000 saved. And that feels good, because having visible money gives a sense of control. But underneath that comfort, something else is happening. Inflation keeps moving, food gets more expensive, rent increases, insurance goes up, life slowly becomes more expensive every year. Meanwhile, that savings account is barely moving, maybe 1% growth, sometimes even less. So while the number goes up, its real value quietly goes down. And this is the part most people never fully connect. Saving protects money in the short term. Investing grows money in the long term. Two completely different jobs. But psychologically, people mix them up. Because saving feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels under control. Investing does not. It introduces uncertainty, market ups and downs, temporary losses, and the brain is naturally wired to avoid that. Especially if someone grew up around financial stress. For many people, cash in a bank feels safer than anything else, even when the math suggests otherwise. Now, this does not mean saving is wrong. Emergency savings matter. Cash buffers matter. Financial safety matters. The problem starts when saving becomes a permanent place to store money instead of a temporary step. Because eventually, time starts working against you. Let's look at a simple comparison. Two people. Both put aside $500 per month starting at age 30. One only saves. The other saves first, then slowly invests into broad index funds averaging around 7% over time. At first, there is almost no difference. After 5 years, both still feel financially normal. Nothing dramatic changes. And this is usually the stage where most people give up on investing. Not because it failed, but because it hasn't felt exciting yet. This is where patience becomes the real challenge, because investing does not feel rewarding in the beginning. No big wins, no applause, no visible proof that anything is really changing yet. And modern life conditions us to expect fast results, but investing doesn't work that way. After 10 years, the saver may have around $60,000. The investor could be closer to $90,000, still not life-changing, but the gap has started. After 20 years, the saver might have around $120,000. The investor could easily be above $250,000. Same income, same monthly contribution, very different outcome. And after 30 years, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. One person built savings, the other built assets, and assets behave differently. They keep working even when you stop adding money. That's a key idea most people miss. The goal is not constant activity. The goal is ownership of things that continue to grow over time. That's where the mindset shift happens. People who understand investing stop seeing it as gambling. They start seeing it as delayed consumption. Instead of spending money today, they buy future flexibility. That's a completely different way of thinking, because most spending decisions are emotional. Investing is the opposite: quiet, repetitive, sometimes even boring. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. There are no immediate rewards, no applause. For a long time, it feels like nothing is happening. And that's exactly why most people stop too early. Modern life is built around instant feedback. fast entertainment, fast delivery, fast dopamine. Investing requires the opposite: time before reward. Now, this doesn't mean taking big risks or chasing random stocks. That's another mistake people make. The shift from saving to investing should be gradual. First comes stability, a small emergency fund, steady income, control over high interest debt. Only then does investing make emotional sense, because investing only works when you can leave the money alone. And that part matters more than people think. A simple strategy followed for 20 years usually beats complicated strategies driven by emotion, fear, or hype. But consistency becomes difficult when people invest money they still mentally rely on. That creates anxiety, and anxiety destroys good decisions. So the real shift is not just financial, it's psychological. At some point, money stops being only protection and starts becoming a long-term worker. Not something to spend, not something to panic over, but something that works quietly in the background. And over time, something changes. Your investments start growing faster than your monthly contributions. At first, you do most of the work. Later, compounding does the heavy lifting. That's when investing starts to feel real. Not because it becomes exciting, but because it becomes self-sustaining. And that's usually when people feel a different kind of stability. Not sudden wealth, but less pressure, less dependence on monthly income. Because income can stop, but assets keep going. And that's the real difference. Saving protects your present. Investing slowly builds your future. And understanding that difference is usually where real wealth thinking begins. Because wealth is not built in moments of action. It's built in years of patience. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Fundora Finance for more calm, realistic conversations about money, psychology, and long-term thinking. Thanks for watching.